If you are not shamelessly promoting yourself, I can guarantee that no one knows who you are. And the reason why I say this is because I'm introverted, but I'm not. Kind of like I guess you would call an ambivert, where I can work a room when I'm in there, giggles, key hee, tee hee, ha ha. But very, very shortly into being around people, I get drained. Like I get drained, bro. And if you know me like you say you know me, then you know I'm gonna be disappearing out the back door like Bruce Wayne at some point because my energy is very, very sacred to me. Sorry, I still have my thumb up. I don't know why. But I'm just sitting here thinking about what it means to really grow and come outside of yourself. I want to keep these videos very personal and very realistic about what it means to grow as a person, build a business. If you're a father, be a father. I really want this channel to start being real organic and real honest about life and all the different aspects that we play and all the different hats and roles that we have to live in, right? But back to the shameless promotion topic. If you want to build anything great, if you have aspirations and dreams of talking on stages, building a business, even just self improving. It might not even seem like that's necessary to put yourself out there in front of people, but it is. Because the kind of growth that you want is going to come from other people being allowed into your life and showing you blind spots and things about yourself that you might not even know or even be able to see. A lot of my growth in life came from people telling me things, being honest with me, being real with me. And a lot of the reasons why I haven't grown, just being honest and being real, was because I didn't want to let people in. Like I just didn't. I think that being a lone wolf for so long, struggling for so long, it created this mentality like bro, I didn't got through this shit by myself. What the fuck you like? What can you teach me? I am one of those guys who grew up in a one parent household, but my mother did great. Like she did phenomenal. She held it down for me and my other three siblings. I have a fourth. That's another story. We're all here. We're all here. We're all siblings. Love you all. If you can all see this, Cass loves you. Nonetheless, the reality here is that you have to grow into a different person to reach a new result. And what that means is to shamelessly promote is for one to recognize that you don't know and see everything about yourself. So it's allowing people in your life to see things about you and highlight areas of weaknesses and strengths so you can grow. Two is spending time with yourself because the more time you spend with yourself, the more you get to know and understand yourself. Three, and from the things that you get to know from other people telling you and the time that you spend alone, you get to realize what your actual gift or skill set is and you begin working on it. And as you work on it, you allow your work to be publicized. You can grow in secret. You can do that still, but I can guarantee you you're not going to grow as fast as you like. When I started allowing people in on my life and putting my creativity out there and allowing people to see me and be more open about things, that's when I seen more growth in my life than ever. It's been so many years of my life where I've always felt like I was behind. I never really could keep a job. Jobs have always been difficult for me, which is exactly why I'm in the game of entrepreneurship because I've always had to lead myself. I've always had to create, produce, and make ways for myself. And if it wasn't for me, I was doing it for my family. And my family was doing it for me, vice versa, right? Because we all need help. We all need community. But at the at one of the peak moments of struggle in my life, I realized that if I don't get creative and start doing things that actually matter, that move the needle in my life, I ain't gonna become shit. Forgive me for the profanity. I cuss sometimes because I get passionate. My wife don't like it. I understand. I love you, boo boo. Like we here, all right? We here. But at the end of the day, you have to be passionate and want to know and learn and grow about yourself and knowing what it takes to become the person you say you want to be. But back to where I was just talking about, going through this and that. One of the toughest and most difficult parts of my life, I slept in cars with my family. I've lost multiple jobs, lost multiple cars. I've had relationships fall out because of money issues. Money in my life and my past like has always been one of the most difficult things I've ever had to overcome. And that's because I never knew how to produce it on my own. I never knew how to put my own life and creativity out there. Even though I've always been a creative person, I've been kind of introverted, but still kind of not in a way, like I said. But I've never thought that my work, my words, the way I communicate, the things I know about business, the thing I know about personal branding, the things I know about communication and self improvement, I never thought that all of these things would amount to me one day being an entrepreneur and wanting to build a business like I do now. So I say this to say is that the moment I started to put myself out there and allow people in on my life and reveal the most intimate parts of myself and to reveal my own creativity, that's when a lot of things for me started to change because you get real time feedback when you allow people to see what you know, to see what you have to offer, and realize that you are a creative individual at the end of the day. I see a lot of people in today's world who want more than what they're willing to work for, or they want more than the person that they're actually willing to become. And through each phase and struggle of my life, it made me hungrier. It made me want more because I got tired of living by the status quo. I got tired of struggling. I got tired of always trying to find my way instead of realizing I have the ability to make things work. I have the ability to create reality. At the end of the day, if you're not making a decision for yourself, the world's going to make one for you. It'll make you fall in line. It will produce a path for you. It'll put you in a box and place you somewhere you don't want to go. So this is where like developing who you are, learning about yourself, having that sense of self-awareness, you get to know your weaknesses, your strong points, and how you can produce results for other people outside of yourself. Because when we talk about money, all the money you want is in somebody else's pocket. It's not in yours because if you had it all already, you wouldn't want to build a business. You wouldn't feel like there's a need to keep returning back to a job that you hate. All of these things prove that if you have to keep returning back to a source to give you money, that means that you don't have the amount of money that you already would like to have. So that means you need to produce, to create, to grow, to learn new skills, to show your experience. And there's no one way to do this, but I can tell you just off the bat what's worked for me, what is working for me. And I haven't reached a place of mastery, so don't think of this like, oh, he getting he feeling himself. Nah, I'm just like you. I want a better life, and I just like I know you want a better life. But what that means is that you have to get uncomfortable and allow people in your life so they can see your ideas, your products, your services. And if you don't have one, then that means you got to get in the lab and make something for the world to consume. Otherwise, there's only one of two ways this is gonna go. You're gonna sell somebody else's stuff, and they're gonna net more profit than you are because it's theirs. It's changing people's lives every single day. But the more reasons you find for something to not work, the more likely you are to not do it. This is about being honest with yourself. This is about saying, all right, I actually know I want more. I know that I'm not doing what it takes to put myself out there, for allowing people to see me, for allowing them to know who I am and what I'm capable of doing. So I need to start getting in front of a camera. I'm going to be real with y'all. Like, if this looks like this flows, like this is easy for me, it's not. I don't always like being in front of a camera. I actually have to make myself do this. Communication is not the difficult part. It's actually stepping in front of the camera, being real about my thoughts, because this isn't something that it's always been easy for me to do. And then it's editing the video, and then it's uploading the video. I'm an overthinker. I will think something 1,000 damn times and try to ask myself, did I do this right? Is this something that, yada, yada, yada? Is this something that other people might like? Is this something? But what helps me and what always brings me back to a place of homeostasis is realizing, is this what I'm proud of? Is this what I'm okay with putting out into the world? Once I deem it okay, once I put the stamp on it, and I realize that this video is something that's gonna benefit you, then I toss it out there. Whether y'all like it or not, this is the best that I'm able to produce for you in the moment. This is my version of high level communication, is helping you to see a different perspective and shifting your paradigm about why things may or may not be working. And just like video games, how I see it, because that's the logo that I've decided to take on for my own brand, my own VR. The virtual headset, because I see all this as being like a game. Life in itself is like a game where you're playing consistently through different levels of understanding yourself, different barriers, different hardships, and through each level you learn how to overcome and become someone stronger who can take on the next. So in essence, every action you take or don't take is creating your reality, whether you want it to or not. I like to be intentional about it now at this point in my life. I wasn't always, and that's why I paid the penalty, because I was just going with the flow, thrusting myself into whatever job would give me money, listening to what people would say to me, following the trends, trying to keep up with the Joneses, and it cost me dearly. So if someone's watching this, if anyone's watching this, I promise you the greatest outcome of your life is going to be to follow your own creative imagination and will to produce out of the abundance of your own heart. Don't follow the course of this world. There is no one way to build a life. There's no one way to build a business. There's no one way to raise kids. There's no one way to be a father if you're a dad watching this. I'm telling you, there's so many different ways, but the best possible way that's worked for me is by realizing that I'm the architect of all of this. That if there's something I don't like, I can change it. I can change the game mode. I'm trying to play to become like the master of all of this. And whether I ever reach it or I don't, the goal is to just keep going and to see what's possible. Improving my stat line, my skills, my knowledge, my expertise, and building things out of my own heart, because that's what I want to produce, because that's what I want to do. And not follow the path that was set before me that cost me time, money, relationships. Like it's just a bunch of bullshit that comes with listening to everybody all the time. Inherently, you know what to do. The difficult part is just doing it, because you've been influenced your whole life into thinking that there's only one way to do things, and the dominant voice that you're going to always listen to is the ones that's been closest to you. And who are they? Friends, family, mom, dad, uncle, aunt, whoever they are, teachers, principals, guidance counselors, you name them. But there's been a small, still voice your whole life who's always kind of told you what to do and where to go. You just haven't been listening to them. And that's yours. Once you understand and start getting exposed to your own abilities, your own outcomes that you've chosen for yourself, and the path that you want to walk, you have to allow people in. You have to allow people to see who you are. You have to show them the process of where you came from, what you went through, why it hurt, what changed you to become the person you are today. And then you want to allow them to walk that path and offer them the path of transformation that helped you out. I talk like the convos, the videos, whatever you get from me, whatever content you're consuming, it may come off a bit motivational. If it's sounding a little too business, I'm only conveying my perspective, my unique worldview. As I said before, there's no one way to walk life. There's no one way to live life. There's no one way to build anything, but you have to find your way by the small, still voice that ultimately knows what's best for you. That's the one in your head. I remember being hungry, bro, like hungry. It was me, my sister, and my nephew. We was hungry in the car, bro. Like, it's so crazy that I'm sitting here saying this, and even saying it out loud feels weird, and then putting it on the internet. This does something to me, so just bear with me here, right? But I don't like saying all these things because I've had to internalize it for so long. But before you keep walking a path and going down the road of destruction, you need to know who you are and where you came from and how it can be of a benefit to someone else. Every stage of my life, every struggle, from dealing with the pain of my body in my youth to being homeless to my mom dying, and I'll do more videos on all this stuff at some point. But all of this is what's created the man that you see in front of you who's willing to talk about it now on camera, because the will that I had produced to get through this shit is what allows me to be the beast that I am today, where I'm doing things that I never actually thought I could do or what was possible, because somehow, some way, I made it through that. The pain that I was feeling on the inside, I got tired of crying about it. I got tired of being angry about it. I got tired of being in a rage, feeling like I'm just a fucking victim. So I started producing. I started writing. I started making posts. It really all started with posts that I was making on Instagram a while back. But I would just write to myself for a while. And then I was like, you know what? maybe someone else will like this. So I started posting Instagram pictures, biblical verses with my unique take on it. The Instagram was called In His Image at one point. But I would give my take on biblical verses and I would break them down as to how they apply to me and the benefit in my life and for the benefit of other believers. But I started transmuting that pain, turning it into something. Pain is energy. And if it's put into the right craft, if it's put into the right thing, it can be of a tremendous benefit to the right people. But I started writing to believers at that time, just believers. We all had to start somewhere. I'm more open and my audience is a lot more broad now because I've grown and I realize I'm just not a one belief kind of guy. I have a set of morals and principles, but I embody more than who I was years ago. Like I've learned and I've grown a lot of different things and taken on a lot of different unique takes about life, and I become more introspective and realizing this my world is bigger than me. I see life through my eyes, but I realize there's billions, 8 billion plus now. But I realize that my life and the way that I see things is not all there is. We're creative individuals, but we keep this creativity to ourselves. We lock it in through traumas, pain, suffering, and we don't want the world to see it. We put on this mask, this ego, where we have to continually safeguard ourselves because we don't want anyone to know that we haven't been a guru all along. Hey, did you know that I always knew these things and that I've always been this guy who has all knowledge about life? No, that's not the case. You grow in knowledge, you grow in wisdom, and you grow in understanding through experiencing pain, through experiencing traumas, and learning how to reconcile your past to your present while still becoming and building on the person that you want to become. And the more that you become the person that you desire to be, the more confident you'll grow with allowing the world to see this person. You start plastering yourself everywhere because you recognize what helped you, what changed you. You get on Instagram, you get on Facebook, you get on YouTube if you're watching this. Just allow people in. Shamelessly promote your ideals because you have overcame something. You've been through something, but your story, it doesn't matter if we can't hear it. That's all I got. I'm trying to keep these videos short. I hope you liked it. Shameless promotion. Put yourself out there. Allow yourself to be known. Allow yourself to be heard. Tell your story. Realize that you are the product in this world. At the end of the day, the treasure trove that people are really after when they get in a relationship with you is right here. This is what matters. Out of the mind comes all things. This is how reality is created. This is how the plans that we put forth, in front of us to succeed are made. All things are birthed from the mind. So if you're not seeing yourself in your highest possible light, possible vision, you downplaying yourself. You playing yourself out of position. I'm gonna link some descriptions and stuff down below. I do personal branding. So if there's anyone watching who's interested in building a brand online, if you're interested in learning how to tell your story, book a call with me and we start wrapping it up a little bit, seeing where you came from, what you're doing now, and how we can turn you into the product and put yourself out there so that you can live a more fulfilled life. Authenticity is the highest form of self-respect. Love yourself, become who you are, and design your own reality on purpose. I love y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video.